Hello, everyone. Welcome. In this short session, we'll go through the world of mammals in Western Ghats. So, we learned in the previous session how big the Western Ghats is. It runs more than 1,600 kilometers north to south and goes through 7 different states and having altitude from sea level to over 2,600 meters above sea level. And it's a huge space. Not just that, with having such big area with different altitude, we also learned that it has a different habitats, from lowland evergreen rainforest to dry deciduous forests and to high altitude mountain shola grassland habitats. So with this wide variety of landscape, which natural habitat, it has great diversity of life. So if we look at India and this part of Western Ghats of mammal species, India has around 410 plus different species of wild mammals, whereas Western Ghats, there are around 137 plus different wild mammals. And if you look at endemic, in all of India, there could be around 50 of them. And coming to Western Ghats, there are probably around 16 mammals which are endemic to Western Ghats. And interestingly, if you take the whole wild mammals, more than 65%, if you take India or just Western Ghats, more than 65% of this consists of rodents, bats, and insectivorous, that is shrews and hedgehogs. They occupy large chunk in this families of mammals. With this great diversity of landscape, we have great variety of mammals. From the largest land mammal found in India, it's found in Western Ghats, the Asiatic elephant, which can grow more than 4,000 kilos. And to one of the smallest mammal found in Western Ghats is just less than 10 grams, that is the pipistrelle bat, tiny little bat. Now what we'll do, let's look at the few highlights and some interesting endemism of this region. Let's start with primates. Just few examples. We have primates which are widespread and common and uncommon. So in widespread, if you bonnet macaque, which is found almost all parts of Western Ghats and also other parts of South India. Whereas you have lion-tailed macaque, which is found only in small pockets of Western Ghats from Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, and prefers only evergreen rainforest of Western Ghats. Whereas bonnet macaque can be found in very different habitats throughout the Western Ghats as well as southern India. When we're speaking of lion-tailed macaques, it's very interesting that the closest relative of lion-tailed macaque is the northern pigtail macaque. And this northern pigtail macaque, it's found in the northeastern part of India and Southeast Asia. See, they're so far from each other and they are the closest relative. Very likely, due to geographical isolation and change of habitats and disappearing of the forest, or the adaptation of lion-tailed macaque to the rainforest separated them and gave rise to this species of lion-tailed macaque. Another interesting primate which is found only in the southern Western Ghats, that is the Western Ghats part of state of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, is this Nilgiri langur. Though in many places they're common, but they're restricted to only these parts of Western Ghats. Let's look at another interesting example, the Thar. In India, we have two different Thars. One is the Nilgiri Thar and the Himalayan Thar. Nilgiri Thar is found in the southern Western Ghats and altitude from mid elevation to higher elevation in rocky slopes and grasslands. Um, and the Himalayan tar is found in the Himalayas. However, interestingly, they are not so close relatives. If you look at the genus, Nilgiri tar falls under Nilgiri targus, which its own genus, and there is no other animal in that genus. And the Himalayan tar, it's also again in its own genus. Another fine examples of endemic animal are the bats in Western Ghats. Like Nilgiri tar, this rare animal, the Salim Ali's fruit bat, is found only in Western Ghats from isolated pockets, and the population of these is unknown. It's not very clear, probably few hundred maybe. And again, there is no other of the same genus in the world as this particular bat. We have very interesting squirrels. For example, jungle striped squirrel, which is an endemic animal to Western Ghats, can be found from Maharashtra to south till Kerala in many different parts. And in many places, this is a common animal. However, we have a small flying squirrel called travancore flying squirrel, which is not common at all. This interesting squirrel, it's endemic to Western Ghats as well as Western Ghats of Sri Lanka. Let's look at small carnivores. We have brown palm civet, which is endemic to Western Ghats, found from Goa below till Kerala. Though they are found in many places, they are uncommon, as well as they are highly nocturnal. Very few pockets in some tea plantation or coffee estate, one can see them at night, but nowhere they are easy to find. And we have very ferocious little animal called Nilgiri marten, again an endemic animal from Goa to further south. And this animal is highly active during the day. And interestingly, there is no place in Western Ghats where you can say if you spend time, you'll see them. This is again a very elusive creature. Another interesting animals are the brown mongoose. This one is found in Western Ghats of India and Sri Lanka. And a beautiful and a large mongoose of this region is the striped neck mongoose. You can see the striped neck here. That's how it gets the name. A beautiful animal found again in patches of Western Ghats as well as in Sri Lanka. Let's look at rodents and some insectivorous. Servant mouse or Bornholt's mouse is an endemic small rodent, and it's so rare or very little known about it. It's difficult to find a photograph of this animal. Same with Day's shrew. This animal is again known from few places, but there is no proper photograph of this animal. And we have another interesting rodent, that is Malabar spiny dome mouse. Look at the bushy tail it has, as well as look at the big whiskers. Again, highly nocturnal, found in small pockets of southern Western Ghats. And these three are endemic rodents. We have two of them are the rodent, and the day shrew falls under insectivorous. We have another interesting animal which is found in Western Ghats, though it is not endemic, that is Indian tree shrew. If we look at the map here, this is from Karnataka to south, the Western Ghats. Because of this rugged terrain and the mountains, still lot of forest patches are left. If we look at the whole Western Ghats, there could be more than 35 different national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. And these wildlife sanctuaries and national parks has a lot of wildlife. Also, these forests are connected with human-dominated landscape. If you look at the map here, all the brown spots are plantations and farmlands. and wildlife use them to move from these well-protected areas of national parks and sanctuaries from one place to others. These are called corridors. And probably Western Ghats has left with one of the largest continuous patches of habitats for these wildlife to move from place to place. Uh, because of so much of human habitation and plantation, where we have altered many parts of Western Ghats, they are forced to adapt. So, like big mammals, you can look here in this picture, the Asiatic elephant. In many places in Western Ghats, you find them in tea plantation, um, feeding on the grass or in the swamps, or using it as a corridor to move to another patch of forest. Um, Also, some interesting studies have shown that Western Ghats may also have one of a good population of Asiatic wild dogs or dholes. Here you can see the wild dogs are resting in the tea plantation again, which is made by human beings. And not just this, there are many creatures which Western Ghats has: large mammals, charismatic ones, and also endangered ones like the tiger, and big animals like gaur or leopard. But not just these large mammals, but we have a lot of lesser mammals which are found in other parts of the world or India and the world, like the leopard cat uh, and the loris. Slender loris, interestingly, only primate which is nocturnal, also found in Western Ghats and other parts of South India. Uh, in this Western Ghats and also human made landscape of plantations, we also get small clawed otter, which prefers smaller streams and small rivers running in the Western Ghats, as well as through coffee and tea plantations. They become more nocturnal in habit when they come to human habitation, and these can be found as well in Western Ghats. Small clawed otter also found in northeastern part of India. Uh, let's look at some of the conservation scenarios. When most of us think generally as Western Ghats, we always imagine being a pristine, like this photograph shows, evergreen rainforest. But it's not the truth, correct? It's changing rapidly due to urbanization and in not proper land use system. We are converting lots of Western Ghats into human habitation or activities, and also destroying the river system. And with dense human population, the dense forest cover is disappearing. With this, a lot of animals, like we discussed earlier, has come into human-made landscape, like this gaur in the tea estate, and also come with conflict with humans. Big animals gets noticed, and also charismatic animals get noticed, or so-called dangerous animals are noticed in these conflicts, like the leopards coming into towns and cities. Whereas a lot of smaller animals of Western Ghats also getting into a lot of conflicts now and disappearing very fast. Uh, Throughout the Western Ghats, there are many individuals and also organizations with some of the forest department. They're working to protect and help this landscape. One such small example is from NCF, Nature Conservation Foundation. What they're doing in Annamalai landscape in southern Western Ghats is they're working with the private tea estates and coffee plantation to restore some of the degraded areas by doing native tree plantation. So they plant this saplings which they grow in their nursery in small patches of tea estates close to the forest areas or away from forest areas, and they've seen a difference over a decade. So here you can see a degraded land with a plantation of eucalyptus, which is not native to India. Over a period of time, they are planted here and protected and monitored. you can see in this picture, it has turned into a small forest. And this small patches helps lot of creatures to come back. A lot of studies have shown that the bird diversity has increased in this restored patches. It's just not bird diversity, a lot of smaller creatures as well as big mammals which roam like this elephant in this TEA states use this restored patches of forest as a refuge or to feed and to get shelter or to move from one place to other safely in this habitat. So this was the short introduction. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.